Hello crafters, this is Suzanne from A Creative Muse. Let's get into matting page 2 on. A viewer did comment that she is having fun making this album, and from what I assume she's she's following the video and cutting and going step by step, because I keep the video in live time that you can follow along, pause, do what you need to, come back and put the album together. Okay. Ooh, all right. I'm feeling a moment of clarity. So let's get into that page 2 assembly. Let's get started. Anytime I craft like this, everything comes in on me. If you were to see what's around this cutting mat, it's that bad. Alrighty, we're gonna do this side of the album, page 2. And get out your trusty ruler. By the way, if you are thinking about getting the tag maker or the Happy Mother's Day die, this is the time to do it. This one especially, this is I think $5.99 on sale at Cat Scrappiness. That's a great deal. Last time I checked, she had this in stock. The links are listed below. Also, this one is from is available at scrapbook.com. It will not be under the name Umbrella Crafts, but it's the same exact tag die set, okay? But this is the time to get it, because as you blink, we're shipping and everything. Mother's Day will be here. Alrighty, let's get going. So here's the album. And we did page 1, so maybe this weekend you can take your time. I want to see how far I get and finish up the rest of these pages. Still have my little Post-it on, holding that flap down. Why not? double duty Post-it. Okay, my lighting is going weird, but at this point, you can see, I think. I think you can see. Alrighty, so let's do this page. Now, the sheet that's in the back. So I'm using some new pages, and I'm also using some scraps. You'll see this one in the collection, and you'll also see this one. This is what is going to go here. So if you want to use this one, fine. But the reason I chose these shades of pink, not that, what is this, like a coral color? These catch back over to this side. So that's the reason why I'm showing you, because both of them look very similar. So it's not this page, it's this page, okay? That we're gonna cut down. Alrighty. This is 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we're gonna cut it 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. Sometimes when I am matting, even though this is white, I will do this type of thing. Let me see, what side do I like? I'm gonna take off that little edge. Keep it cleaner on top. Said 4 1/4. Let me bring my ruler down so you guys can see. I don't know where this crazy shadow is coming from. Yeah, I'm back. I just had to adjust my light. I had this ginormous shadow. It's still there, but it's not as bad as it was 2 seconds ago. Oh, I need good lighting. 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. And then, oops, maybe I shouldn't have put the trimmer there. I just don't have any space right now. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and mat this page. Again, seeing that you have white into white, you can use your Post-it just to show where your edge is. So you can see. You move the album out the way, get some ATG. So you're gonna apply your adhesive all the way around. Pretty much every piece you're gonna be applying adhesive all the way around for matting. So now I'm going to turn the album just a bit for my sanity. Stand up. Okay, there we go. I can use my bone folder, Teflon bone folder, burnish. If it seems like I'm forgetting, I'm still, I had a lovely nap. And now I'm awake and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take advantage of being awake. Let's go now with that next part. This little strip here. So I had this piece, I'm only gonna cut this little bottom cut apart. That's one thing about this trimmer. Because of this little line, it does work quickly and you can find it everywhere. Everywhere. And I think I need to trim it down too. Oh no, I went all the way out. Yeah. So I didn't trim off the edges. So instead of hitting here to here, I went all the way out because it did fit on this. Let me show you what I mean. I liked that it went all the way out and that then this little white line caught with that edge. I kind of liked that. Did I plan it? No. But did it look decent? Yeah. This one now I'm going to apply some cherry tape. And cherry tape is the adhesive, double-sided adhesive that a cherry on top sells. I did link that below as well. It will be listed under cherry tape. A cherry on top is a decent store too. Sometimes they'll have like really good deals like free shipping over $49, 20% off pre-orders. The only thing with them is that they don't restock as quickly or have as much in stock as, let's say, scrapbook.com, which you guys, if you watch any of my haul videos, I've told you that I call scrapbook.com the Walmart. And I don't mean Walmart in terms of they sell cheap stuff. I mean Walmart in terms of they carry everything. One-stop shopping. Like that big new tonic trimmer, that 12 by 12 tonic trimmer that I've been thinking about. And if you're like, but if you have other trimmers and you have that Caterpillar, why would you think about it? Because the Caterpillar is a rotary trimmer and that tonic 12 by 12 is a guillotine trimmer. Guillotine meaning the arm comes down. Those have a tendency of being sharper, more accurate, and a much crisper edge. So this is just using a blade. Here I have to keep changing the blade. With the guillotine, it's like pretty much self-sharpening. And you just get it, just a clean cut. Price wasn't bad. Did you see that I had that upside down? Oh, that would not have been good. Alrighty, and instead of coming, so you have an option. Do you want to go all the way to the bottom? I went about 3/8 of an inch up. Again, this is one where you want to line up with this edge first. And there I go. Am I accurate? Yep, pretty accurate. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Alrighty, let me do the photo mat. I had a little piece here. That photo mat is 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to come down 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. 3 1/2 and 5 1/4. Nice scrap. All I had left was 2 little strips. That's when scrap is good. Let me bring the trimmer over this side here beside me. All right. Now, because this is a photo mat, again, your double-sided adhesive. Remove your double-sided adhesive. If you can't lift it up with your nail, don't forget that you can use your craft pick or pokey tool. That also helps. Some people like to use a craft knife. I don't mess with a craft knife like that. But if you're comfortable, go ahead. Alrighty. Now in this case, I didn't center it like so. I kind of left a little border up here to put that bow. Let me stand up again. So you notice how I have it low, but it's not sticking? It's because I have my fingers here. That's a little tip. And with time, it'll get easier and easier with time in terms of, you know, working with the Scor-Tape or double-sided tape and all that stuff. But this paper is so soft that wet glue is not going to be your friend. And then I did a bow across here, or any embellishment. You could do a bow, you could do a flower, a little flat flower. You could do a sticker. Keep your stickers, not necessarily a 3D sticker, but keep your sticker just a low profile sticker. That can work. We do have the gusset, but if you're going to pack this with a lot of photos, don't put too many embellishments. And watch your embellishment. Some embellishments can cut into the foiling over here, and then it'll start peeling and not looking so pretty. So keep something flat here. Alrighty, we flip it over. Now I'm going to do inside here. 8 1/4. Why? I don't know why I keep measuring that 8 1/4. Habit. And 6 1/4. But it's always better to do that than go, oh, because, you know, if you're working with the one pack, or you're making multiples and you start running out of paper. Not fun. 6 1/4. Okay, let me move the album out the way. 6 1/4. Yeah. 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. Keep that piece. That's a great piece. 8 1/2. No, 8 1/4. Oi. 6 1/4, 8 1/4 inches. And this trimmer also comes with a scoring tool attachment if you want it. I have it. I tried to use it at a crop once. Never again. It was just too confusing for me. I like to keep a trimmer, scoreboard, a scoreboard. That's it. Some people, they have no problems. But for this kind of measuring and always scoring, it's just easy to make mistakes. And why make a ton of mistakes, right? There's only so much that undo can do, and you don't want to be wasting a ton of undo all over the paper, all over your pages and stuff. I use the undo as last resort. I don't do undo everywhere. And you can use that undo on scrapbooks too, and it doesn't damage photographs. I still don't mess with it that way. That's just my thing. Alrighty, I'm gonna turn the album again and stand. There's a lot of standing in crafting, isn't there? I just watched a video of someone's craft room where she went to IKEA and got that telescoping craft desk. It's like a desk, and underneath it she could push the rolling cart, the Roscog I think it's called. I was like, oh, that's nice. In my dreams one day. Over here now, we're gonna use it's 4 1/4 by 8 1/4 solid strip. This time I remembered the pink. 4 1/4. I'm going a little bit faster, but not crazy fast. And you can always wind it back. Yeah. See, this is 65-pound Michael's paper. Listen how thick it is. So that's their paper sometimes. Sometimes it runs, you know, thin like this, and then other times in a different color, it's like super thick. And a crafter had told me years ago, actually from my local scrapbook store, because she used to own a stamp store, like just selling stamps. Longtime crafter. She said, if you're buying cardstock, let's say Basil or American Crafts cardstock in a certain color, this pink, She said buy the batch all at one time, because she said if you go back, if you run out, you go back, sometimes there's variations within the color. Those crafters with their tips. That's why I miss my local scrapbook store so much. That's actually where I fell in love with crops. I met a lot of the local crafters here. And then Miami, they didn't really have a store, so they would come up to, you know, the Fort Lauderdale area and craft with us, spend the whole weekend. Some of them would go home at night. Some of them would go stay at a hotel and then do kind of like slumber party. Yes, we do that type of stuff too. And then my local store closed a couple years ago, and then I found Vero Beach Scrapbooking. She does, fabulous lady, Barbara. She does crops now, and she does a lot of crops. And she does some down this side. She does a few in Miami, not many, but those crops in Miami are much smaller. And Orlando, Vero Beach, on up in the state of Florida. And we have crafters coming from out of state to that crop. Some come from Georgia, some come from, where else? Louisiana, Alabama. Yeah, we have crafters driving in, some fly in. The one who flew in, she carried some basic stuff in her carry-on and then was like borrowing from everybody the entire weekend. And we were just too happy to, you know, we were just happy to see her. Okay, I'm gonna do now this part here. Disney, I have cropped on Disney property. That's gonna be one of my scrapbooking events this year. This is, 3 7/8. Oh, didn't I say I wasn't gonna do this to you guys? 3 7/8 square. It's the border. You could do 4. If you do out to 4 inches, it won't give this thick border. I did the thick border because I wanted to enjoy the pink. Let's go at 4 inches and I'll show you the difference, what I mean. So that one is 3 7/8 of an inch square. This one I'm going to do at 4 inches square. Okay? Alrighty, here I am. I'm going to show you where 3 7/8 of an inch would land. Okay, so we're back again, because the 7/8 of an inch is a popular size for mini album making. Okay, let's go. Well, not 3 7/8. I meant 7/8 of an inch. So here we're at 3 3/4. That's that spot, and that's 4 inches. You want to middling it right there. That's 3 7/8. So if we had something where we needed 2 7/8 of an inch, you'd come right there. You're middling these two, and it happens in this in mini album making. That 7/8 of an inch and 5/8 of an inch and 3/8 of an inch. They all come into play. But I'm gonna cut this one at 4 for you guys. I'm gonna back the camera out now, so I'm back up. Gonna cut it at 4 inches. And if you're wondering why did I cut that strip, I didn't like how it looked. So I just it wasn't looking clean, so I just took off the edge. 4 by 4. Oh, somebody is cooking in the kitchen. I think that's my son. He's making chicken for himself. But it does smell good. At least my sense of smell isn't gone. Okay, here we are. See what's happening at 4 by 4? It's too tight. I'd still have to take off. And taking off a hair is what got me to the 3 7/8 of an inch. So I took off 1/8 of an inch. So here, this is at 4 inches square. You can keep it at that. Here, this is 3 7/8. Alrighty? So whatever pleases your eye. It pleased my eye to have that little hair off. Now let me show you the beauty of this trimmer, where I'm going to show you how to do the 1/8 of an inch off. Okay, so here I am now. I zoomed it back down again. This trimmer, I could do it, I could come to 3 7/8 here, or I could go right there. Because this trimmer subtracts over this side. So let's say I needed to take 1/2 inch off. I would just go here to the 1/2 inch point, 1/4 inch. Right there is my 1/8 of an inch. So this would take me to, see, 3 3 7/8. I tell you, I did use this trimmer for many, many years, and I still have it. But this is my second one of this. I had 2, and one of them started not cutting straight. That's the problem with the line sometimes. Some people like to use it to cut chipboard. I advise against it. I think it puts too much pressure on this type of, you know, I would keep chipboard. I would do either manually or have a designated trimmer for it, because it's going to wreak havoc on your trimmer. I wouldn't cut cardstock and pattern paper on the same trimmer that I'm cutting chipboard. You're going to start noticing distress edges and not being straight. You're going to be like, oh, it's not a miracle trimmer. No, it's not a miracle trimmer. Alrighty, again, adhesive. Your double-sided adhesive. Alrighty, so I applied double-sided tape on both pieces. Here's a little trick for you, because if you remove both and then start lining it up, it may not be accurate. So what I do is leave one with the double-sided tape, position it, take the other. So now I start putting it in place how I want it to land. This looks pretty good to me. I'm sitting down and doing this, but so far it's looking kind of straight, right? There. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it on this one, because this one is closer to me as I'm sitting. And peel off your, so leave that one in place just as a visual aid in terms of lining it up. And then come on in. So I'm lining up with that edge, centered. Oh, did I center right? No. See how my finger gives it just a little bit of height so it doesn't grab quite yet. There we go. Jeez. There. I'm trying to, I don't know why my camera's looking so dark. Maybe, hopefully the video isn't dark. Hopefully you guys can see. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pop on another light. I do have another light here. Sometimes when I'm filming, guys, I'm using outside, but right now it's, what time is it? About 7. So more than likely you'll see this video tomorrow morning. By the time I edit and upload, the uploading has been just like, hours. Okay, remove the adhesive. Let me stand up so I can make sure I can see the top. There we go. And then what I did, I took an oval, any oval that you had. I have a decorative oval die. It doesn't have to be decorative. It could just be a stitched oval die. You can just stack it. 1 and 2. Don't stack it too much more than that. When we get into more finishing the pages, then I'll revisit putting something like that on. Hopefully, I think this light took out a lot of the darkness that's over this side, which is the side that I'm working on. Alrighty, so this page is now done. Flip it over. Now we're going to go to the back of the page, back of page 2. And here I am actually using 2 scraps. It's from cutting off the cover. So then you would only cut what you need, put the rest down. Or, yeah, so then I did go, maybe I took this out of a second. I'm thinking. I might have taken this out of a second pack. 8 1/4. See, I'm now, oh, my mind is working today. I didn't even have to, 8 1/4 by 3. This is from that first page assembly. I'm looking, this is the section I used where I like the flowers not to be so big on this size of a mini album. So 3 by 8 1/4. 3 inches. I did cut off a little bit more of, did I cut off a little bit of this? I think I did. Eight and a quarter. And this little trimmer stands up at the side too. You can just put it beside you, lean it on your chair, and it'll just sit there waiting for you. I love it sometimes. I forgot how much I actually like that trimmer. But the Tim Holtz guillotine, the one that I use here when I'm making cards with you guys, that one does cut sharper than this. So here I have just a little fray on the edge. But this was my starter trimmer. And back in the days, got it at Michael's with a nice half off. I don't know what Michael's is waiting for. I'm not even looking at their emails anymore because I just know they're not giving the half off. Center it, stick it down. There we go. Again, at this angle with the light I can see. But if you can't see, stick that Post-it in here so you can see where this edge is and then line it up so you can get to center it. Now we're going to do this piece. So that's 8 and a quarter. That's the height by, remember, go ½ inch in. 3 and a half. 3 and a half by 8 and a quarter. Here we go. 3 and a half, 8 and a quarter. This now I could either keep to use as a decorative strip, why not? And 8 and a quarter. Oh, my son is cooking. I think I'm hungry. I'm feeling sick, but yet I'm hungry. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. Again, now here I could put, I could use my tape runner or ATG gun on all 4 edges. I kind of like to do the top part in the double-sided tape and then do the rest soft, meaning tape runner. So you have an option here. But the part that inserts into that pocket, I said it before, but I'm going to just say it again. That's the part you want to be soft, where you can pull it back out if it starts to grab without sticking it down. It won't have such a fast magnetism to, oh, I'm immediately attaching. No. So here I have the stickier part on top, softer stick on the bottom. I like to turn the album to me. So this is not going to fly. I can't because I can't see that edge. So what I do is I turn the album like so. I rest this back part on my chest, raise this up a little bit, or stand up and do it. But I kind of like to, if you can see, now I can see all corners. There we go. Whatever feels natural to you. And what I'm lining up is this edge with that edge. See how it all lines up? There. And our eyes go more towards this outer top portion than it does down here. So if something is a little off, keep it down here at the bottom. Don't keep it at the top. Mini album Houdini stuff. This is a next scrap. So I guess when we had first cut this from here, I had one scrap I used here, and then the other scrap covers that pocket. This pocket, matting the pocket, you're going to be 4 inches, so you're going to go 3 3/4 by 6 1/2. We're going to go 6 1/4. So 3 3/4 by 6 1/4. Let me cut this first before I start talking, before I forget what I just said. 3 3/4 by 6 1/4. Six and a quarter. I'm looking at how the dots fall. I know. That's just my quirk. Alrighty. I just wanted to make sure that I cut this first before I say anything. So, right here, that was a quick measurement. 6 1/4, 3 3/4. When 6 1/4 and 3 3/4 become an issue, when you have to be like, if you step away for a second and you come back, measure it again. Let's say we wanted to mat with this. This is where you're going to have to know my width, 6 1/4, because of the wording. You want to get that orientation. My height will then be 3 3/4. So I could use this right here if I wanted to. That's an option. Cut this out. But that's where you want to be mindful of your measurements. Don't just speed through it. Oh, she said da 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 da, because then you'll turn it the wrong way. And if you only have one of this paper pad, or you're making 2 albums from one pad, just slow yourself down a little bit. Look at the orientation. In this, I don't have to worry because this is all polka dots. And your tape runner or advanced tape glider. Okay, center this. I can see. There we go. Burnish. All my burnishing. And then now we're going to do the pocket. And looking at the pocket, I can see again. It's not this one. It's the other sheet. I'm going through my scraps. See, these are all good scraps. Okay. After this was right in front of me, right over here, and I couldn't see it, but this is the scrap that's left over. And here we're going to go, I already forgot, I think it was 6 1/4. Yep, 6 1/4 by, where am I? 5, 6 1/4 by 5. So this would definitely fall into the 6 1/4 by 5. I'm going to take off this little piece here. I'm not loving it. So 6 1/4 by 5. I like this edge. 6 1/4, or maybe, let me take off some of this mess here. That's my process. I always look at the papers. I'm like, ooh, pretty, pretty. I want the pretty, pretty. I want the full flower. I want top part, double-sided tape. In this instance, I need to know the orientation because if I did it here, I'd be upside down. Using my tape cutter. Which is just any straight edge. The Tim Holtz ruler becomes too long for something like that. That's why you don't see me using it for that size. I use it for like that 5-inch Scor-Tape roll, 4-inch Scor-Tape roll. Then I'll use a Tim Holtz ruler as my tape cutter, double-sided tape cutter. Alrighty, so I gotta stand up. Here I'm going to mat. There we go. This edge going straight up into that edge. And there we go. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Oh, so wait, I'm on page 3. I didn't even realize. Oh, guys, I'm feeling good. Guys and gals. Alrighty, flip my page over. Now I'm going to do the back of page 3. Oh, I'm actually, here's a scrap. This will be 8 1/4 inch by, and I'll tell you in 1 second, 2 3/4 inch. So 2 3/4 inch by 8 1/4. And I cut each page one at a time, like measure, cut, measure, cut, measure, cut. Sometimes if I try to do it any other way, that's when I make mistakes, and just for my sanity, I just do it this way. If it works for you in terms of cutting both parts, knock it out, go ahead. This one, this part will be, let me measure it this way so you can see, 4 inches. 4 inches by 8 1/4. So 4 inches. Swing out my little leg. 8 1/4. There we go. Now we're going to finish up page 3. Yay! ATG gun. And like I said, if you are making this as an heirloom in terms of, you know, when everybody gets together, hopefully we all can get together by Thanksgiving this year, and you want to show the album, and you know there's going to be a lot of people looking at it, kids touching it and all that, I would go Scor-Tape, more heavy on the Scor-Tape for all the matting. All right, here, and centered, there we go. I put that on, and yeah, I was burnishing, but I shouldn't, because it can mess with that foil. Habit, one edge, double-sided tape. Oh, and then ATG. If you hear my tape runner squeaking, she does this when she's getting empty. Now, it didn't bother me, but I was at a crop, and my what would I call her? Would I call her my roomie? I was gonna call her my crop mate, but the person who I room with when I go to crops, she's like, "Why is your ATG gun squeaking?" And I'm like, "What's wrong?" I think it was driving her nuts. She was like, "It's squeaking," but it squeaks when it's emptying out. All right. Again, I turn. Okay, so I'm going too fast. All right, so there is the page. You can put it in like this. For me, this is just, it's hard. So I'm going to rotate the album. This is the top of the album. And I'm going to mat it. I can stand up and do it. Right now I'm sitting down and doing it. Oh. Yeah. Wait. Shoot. Okay. Did you see what just happened? I had stuck only that corner, so I was able to lift it off. Fingers. They help. And I'm sliding all the way in here, see? Without grabbing yet, because I have a little bit of height. When you're first doing this, it's not going to feel that way. But I do. I just see that I'm not straight over this side, and it's driving me crazy. All right. There we go. The back of page 3. Done. On to page 4. So in this video, we have actually done page 2 assembly, page 3 assembly. Then in the next video, I'll do the tags, you know, because that's now me taking out my die cut machine. Now we're on to page 4. And page 4, one flap can be here, or the small flap can be here. I did notice when I had, this was intersecting with this, I think. Well, it's not intersecting now. Why was it intersecting? Maybe because of this could have been causing a little bit of a little give here. It was intersecting. Just when you're closing the album, just be careful of carefully going in with the pages if you keep this on the outside. Don't just fold it up like a book, because all these pages are at different sizes, different heights, with different flaps. Alrighty, so what I did here was I took one of the cut aparts, which is already cut. That would be a 3x4. And then I cut another piece beside it. Really nice pack, the pink buttons. Has some nice shades of pink. Let me make sure that I'm on the right. Yep. It's not this darker pink, it's this lighter pink. Okay, why? If you notice, this shade of pink does not go with this. This one goes better with this and this. You see it? See how they go together? See how they don't? That's why I was using that shade of pink. Just showing you the method to my madness. Alrighty, so I'm going to stick this one down first because I had it out here to the edge. It's a 3x4 cut apart, so it's already done. Or you could just put a full photograph here, a 4x6 photograph. I did bring a photograph down actually. Let me show you what I mean. Like so. See, it fits if you can see it. Let me put this behind here. Let me put this behind here so you can get a view of what I'm saying. See how the photograph fits perfectly? That's how come I knew that this was 3x4. That actually looks pretty nice, doesn't it? And you can trim your photograph down if you want to double mat it. So you could cut this 4x6 and then trim your photograph 1/8 of an inch shorter and then stick it on top of this to have it double matted if you want. And double matting, this is double matting, pink and then the white. Apply adhesive to your cut apart. This instance, I'm using my tape runner, my squeaky tape runner. She's slowly running out of gas, I guess. I can put this behind here so I can see. Cut this 3x4. Three inches by 4 inches. There we go. And I'm lining up right up against, and here I can see just a little smidge. This is going to be a tight smidge. Let me use the Tim Holtz for that. Tim Holtz is going to give me a more accurate cut because of the sharp blade for taking off a smidge. What is a smidge? That's a smidge to get it even. But this one will do it more accurate than that one. So all these trimmers have their pluses and minuses. If you want to know what the Cadillac of trimmers is, that one is called a Rhoda trim. That trimmer is an investment. She is not a crop trimmer. She is park her at your craft desk and don't move her because she's a big solid state trimmer. And she starts at $250. Seeing that I'm mentioning it, if you are like, well, I want the Cadillac, I'm going to list the Cadillac below. The Cadillac can be found on Amazon, Rhoda trim. It's a trimmer used by professionals. Like if you have a photography store or photography business and you want to cut photographs, it's very accurate, very straight. I first used a Rhoda trim at a crop workshop years ago. And the person had said, oh, you can cut chipboard. I wouldn't cut chipboard with that trimmer. No. And it is a rotary trimmer, but it's a very heavy duty trimmer. I think it's made of compressed board, solid thing. So you wouldn't travel to crops with it. So I would mat it at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Taking off a 1/4 inch on both sides. And crop etiquette. Yes, there's such a thing as crop etiquette. going to a scrapbooking event, like if you have one in your area and you're like, you know, Suzanne's always talking about these crops and I've heard other people talk about it, and you decide to go, before you, anytime you're approaching somebody's work, ask, you know, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, can I take a look? Ask. Don't ever walk up to somebody's work like this and jump in. Never. They may have wet stickles on it. You know, that would be like wet glitter. They may not, just don't want you to touch their stuff. They'll flip it upside down because, you know, you're sitting at a table and they'll show you, or they'll ask you to come around and they'll show you. Always, always ask. Don't ever touch. And I've seen people leave their desk, you know, to go have lunch, make a phone call or something. Book is open and somebody walk by, the croppers around that table would be like, she's not here. Wait until she comes back. Crop etiquette. We have that. And it's very real. I'm going to my first crop. I think the reason why I'm talking about a crop, because I confirmed myself for a crop later on this year. I have 2 crops, September and October this year. Yay! That's my, like, I'll be good to go. Of course, I'm still going to, you know, sanitize, social distance. It's still going to be a social distance crop, but I feel good about that. There we go. That's that matting. Flip it over. Now we're going to mat on the inside. Take that beautiful geometric heart paper. Where is it? Oh, I have all my scraps everywhere. I know I have it. I know I have it in a scrap. Here we go. Does that fit it? Yeah. So this would be 4 by 6, because this is like the size of a photograph. Make sure this is exactly 6 inches. There's that little funky yellow color there, so I'm going to cut it from the bottom. I think this is so cute with the hearts. Like, you could save this for Valentine's too. Again, apply your adhesive. Alrighty, I want to show you something. This is me running my tape runner not straight. That's exposed adhesive. Take your finger, just roll it in, tuck it in. When you're using a tape runner or your ATG gun, just tuck in those edges, because something like that will stick to your next page and start tearing whatever it's touching. It'll start pulling this. When I stick it down, it'll start pulling on here. So just always just roll that tape in. And here we go. Teflon bone folder lightly. And then here's this part, which is the green striped. I can see it, which would be the second part from the first time I cut this green stripe. And I can see that I used right here. I have my album over here. If you see that little edge, that's my album. Should have done that the first day. Alrighty, this is, okay, now I can't see. So when you can't see, bring this in here. This is 6 inches, so I'd go 5 3/4 inch by length 8 1/4. So 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. So 5 3/4 inches wide, 8 3/4 inches, 8 1/4 inch long. Oh, let me not say 8 3/4. 5 3/4 inches wide. And 8 1/4 inches tall. And I'm going to cut off some of this noise at the bottom. I don't need so much of the flowers out. Here we go. So I'm still enjoying the flowers. I'm just cropping all this extra. I don't need all that extra. If you want to keep it, fine, but I don't think it needs it. 8 1/4 inches. There we go. Now this can be a lovely tag. Look at that. That little piece. Save that scrap. Fill up your album with it. use the lines. This is already lined out. You can write something in it and then mat it onto something like so. Look at that. And then have a little, you know, opportunity to journal. Alrighty. Okay, I'm gonna bring this in because it's driving me nuts. And see here, see all that white on the edge? I could either put the Post-it. In this case, I'm gonna just put a piece of cardstock in color so I can see there. Because now I can see clearly where my edge ends. Double-sided, not double-sided, tape runner. Now, if I was using a tape runner, an actual handheld tape runner, I would have to be rolling in the tape on every edge because I don't apply the adhesive straight. I apply the adhesive straight here. See, I don't even have any edges sticking out except for that one that I just showed you. That's why I like the ATG gun. It works. It just feels like like my little assistant tape runner in my hand, or big. It's actually a big tool. Okay, there we go. And there we are. Yay. All right, now this, I did a little bit of matting here. And I'm already seeing what I did. Alrighty, so you're gonna need a piece now. 4 3/4 by 6. I'm moving this out so it doesn't confuse you. 4 3/4 by 6 of the same pretty lighter pink paper from the Pink Buttons. 4 3/4 by 6 inches. Okay, yeah, straight. By 6. I get that little strip. And I had put it like so. So it is going to come down into this. I did cover this up. I was going to keep it like so, but I thought this was too distracting and too much space, so I brought it down. So you could, if you're going to leave it, cut this smaller. You would then cut the, what did I say? 4 3/4 and then 5 3/4 to get it to about there. If you wanted to keep that flower, I'm going to turn it like so. So for 4 3/4 by 6, I could trim down a 5 by 7 photograph. Yeah. Let me go tape runner. Apply your tape, whether it's the double-sided tape or the tape runner. You want to center. Now, I didn't go all the way out because I did want to still enjoy the edges of the stripes. I'm going to go right about, let me stand up. There. There I go. Burnish. So now we're going to go 4 1/2, so that's a 1/4 inch less from 4 3/4, 4 1/2, and then this would be 5 3/4. So 4 1/2 by 5 3/4 is the mat for this. And you can still leave the white, even if you are putting photos in it, and just have the white outline. That would be nice. 4 1/2 by 5 3/4. There we go. Almost done. Oops. Again, I would use my double-sided tape here. Let's go with scrapbook.com. You guys keep seeing me using all this cherry tape. I'm having no love for the scrapbook.com. They need to bring it back in stock. And the Magic Mat. I think the Magic Mat is back out of stock again. Oh. And Gemini Junior cutting plates, clear cutting plates, that's out of stock. I think more people, it seems more people have the Gemini Junior than they do the full-size Gemini. because you can easily get that cutting plate. I don't have a full-size Gemini. I use my Empress. When it comes to the larger cutting, wider, I should say. And a Griffin. Alrighty. Remove your adhesive, attach it, centered. There we go. Use my bone folder, my Teflon bone folder. Burnish, 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 burnish. Now we're on the inside of page 4. Wow, guys, we're clocking. Back into my my paper pad. I'm going to use this sheet and this one that I had cut earlier. Alrighty. Okay, so this is going to be 6 1/4 by 8 1/4 for the pink flower. 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Fold that flap in. I would cut the 6 1/4 first. 6 1/4. So you'll have more left over. If I had cut this at 8 1/4, I'd only have that much left. Know what I mean? 6 1/4. So I cut the smaller size first. 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Let me cut off some of that noise up the top. I am not loving that noise. Still don't like that noise. Let me come down a little bit. 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. I can throw this out. This strip is just so small. Here I'm going to use my ATG gun. I am so shocked that I'm feeling well right now. I think that nap really did do me some good. I was feeling horrific a few hours ago. That's my squeaky tape runner. Alrighty. Let me just smooth fix my edges because I saw a part of it showing out. Here we are. So I'm going to now adhere the page, have my adhesive on the back, flip that flap over, and center. Ooh, hard to see. So because it's hard to see, I'm going to just do like that because there's a lot of white on top of white. It's even worse in black too. There we go. There we go. There we go. All righty. Yep. Now we're going to do over this side. So, where did I put my ruler? The height, 8 1/4. The width, from here in that score line, 5 3/4. So 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. This is a wide sheet, so guess what? I'm going to cut the 5 3/4 first. I have more scraps left over, usable scraps. 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. I think this is so cute. Again, with your tape runner. Okay, I ran out of tape. Alrighty, I'll be right back. I am back. I had to get the refill. As you can see, I bought it from Hobby Lobby back when they had 40%. So now, obviously, you won't be getting adhesive at 40% because that's just not going on sale. You can also buy off-branded ones, like from a place called Tape Runner Depot. I tried it once, but I didn't like it. It wasn't sticking well. It lifted much quicker than the ATG brand, which is made by Scotch 3M. Alrighty, so I take this off. So another quick tutorial of ATG fun. Roll out my tape, and I'm going to put it on here. And I'm going to go up and over, down and under, and around. Now to get this moving, to get this moving, I'm going to, so it's like my ATG video. Press the gun, that's what gets it moving. Bring that tape around. Oops, I have my tape upside down because it's sticking on my finger. There we go. I like to stick that little piece of tape on this right here, there on that edge, just to keep everything nice and straight. This particular roll is like super sticky. And then I come down here and I thread it through that little notch. Then stick the rest, because it's so super sticky, right here on the edge. Don't forget, lock it up. If you lose this thing is not going to work. And lock it. It'll snap back into place. Oh, this tape is like crazy sticky. And sometimes the tape will mess itself up. I'll clean out here and then just start it off again, reload it again halfway through if it reels on itself. Alrighty, back in business. Okay, we just did a little sidebarred ATG gun reload. Alrighty. So apply your double adhesive, apply your tape. Just have to smooth that edge because I can see that I have exposed. Bring back the album in. I'm going to stick it here. I'm going to tilt the album a little bit just so I can get to line it up. Yeah. Okay. Burnish with my hands because this is the gold and I don't want to mess this foil up more than it is already. If it is, don't want to disturb the foil. Alrighty, flip this over. So we have this part done, we have this part done. Flip this back. Oh, we're at the last part of the page assembly. Yay. Alrighty. So now I did a few things here. Alrighty. Oh, this is a long video, but at least you got all the other pages done. This piece we're gonna do with the wording. So I'm gonna go, 3 inches by the length would be 8 1/4. So 3 inches by 8 1/4 of this strip that has right here. And then I think everything else is going to be scraps. I believe so. You're going to need one of that neutral. You aren't going to use plenty of it, but you do need it. So what did I say? 3. See, I already forgot what I said. So this piece is going to be this pocket right here, 3 inches by 8 1/4. And I'm going to cut off this little foil strip. You can keep it if you want. I didn't. I wanted some of the flowers in it. So I put it right there. Let me get the trimmer straight. Come on, be straight. Here we go. Take that strip out. You can keep it to use it for something else. 3 inches. There we go. Oh, look at that. There's that little edge there. That's going to drive me crazy. Oh, boy, 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 boy. I want this a little bit straighter. I'm going to cut just a little bit more off. Is this page straight? So 3 inches. So I went back to the other trimmer. I tell you, this tonic is actually very accurate here and way out. It just doesn't become accurate in that 6 inch on up to 6.5 inch area. And that's what this album measures. So that's when it gives me gray hair. Alrighty, and I need 8 1/4. And some people do like to cut down this side. I don't, but if that feels natural to you, hey. 8 1/4. And it took out the Be Lovely. You can save this for something right there. Meaning, let me show you what I mean. 3 inches, 3 inches. I could just use that. And I could take out the flowers too and just have Be Lovely on a tag. That'd be cute. You know, a little, bring this tag down and have that. That's actually a nice idea. I may do that. And let me put some adhesive. Oh, this one here is so lean. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Roll all that exposed adhesive in. No, no, no. Okay, so after you put your adhesive on, here we are. This is the back of the album. This is where you're going to put the pocket. So you're not going to put it like this. That'll be upside down. You're going to go like this. Turning the album so I can see. Put a strip of cardstock in here so I can see the edge. And there I go. Burnish here because I have the foil. I can burnish this top part though, like so. And I can burnish about there. Good. Done. Next, I'm going to do this inner part, which will be 8 1/4 inches long by 3 3 3/4 inches wide. 3 3/4 inches by 8 1/4. 3 3/4 inches by 8 1/4. Bring out my arm. Oops. Again, you can go double-sided tape, one edge, and then the rest. Keep it soft. I'm getting a lot of residual from this roll. I may have to reload it. Remove the tape backing. And let's insert that pocket. Again, here's the album. I'm going to turn it a little bit so I can see. I'm going to be 1/8 of an inch from that score line. And I hope you guys can see. Hopefully I'm not like hiding. There we go. There we are. And then now I'm going to do this part, which would be this beautiful green rose with the gold foil. Love this. This is going to be 8 1/4 inches tall by 3 3/4 inches wide. Again, move my album off to the side. Okay, where do I want? I like this side. 3 3/4 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches tall. Do I like this bottom half or do I like that top half? Let me see. 8 1/4 would take me to here. No, I like that top. Alrighty. And you have all these choices to make, especially when you're working with a piece of, a sheet of pattern paper that has a lot going on. You can pick what you want and how you want it to land on each page. Why not? You may just have to buy more pattern paper because of it. Alrighty, so now I'm going to use the tape runner. And I think, folks, we're actually done. What? She's squeaking again. So I have the double-sided tape here. And let me adhere this. I'm going to stand up. There we go. And there we have it. Oh, there we don't have it. Okay, I still have more to go. Darn, I thought I was done. Not yet. Alrighty, now we're gonna do this part, which I did a cut apart. I did this piece that was on that second page, and then I used this somewhere else. Last part of the page assembly is a polka dot scrap and this cut apart with the mimosa champagne, rosé champagne look. You can change that cut apart if you don't want to do the alcohol. If you're not, if whoever you're giving it to doesn't drink or anything, you could just put something here. You could put a flower there. You could put hearts here. You can cover this up. Don't sweat it. Nobody will know if you cover it up. You could cut out you could fussy cut one of these roses and stick it on there too. Let me do the cut apart first. So this is 3 3/4 inches wide. The height is already, I did trim some of this. So 3 3/4 inches wide. But what I did, I took off some of this. See how this is much wider than here? I took off some of it before I did the 3 3/4 inch. Yeah. I thought it just had too much pink going on. So I took off about is that a 1/4 inch? Almost a 1/4 inch. But not quite a 1/4 inch. But bigger than 1/8 inch. 3 3/4 inches. And I think I took off a little bit of this top too. See, I'm using that 1/8 inch line. And hopefully I'm still in focus. Just take off a little bit. Just to take off some of the excess pink. It's just too much of a pink border. And cut off a little bit of this one too. There we go. Yeah. Alrighty. Now I'm going to adhere it. Tape runner. Ooh, squeaky again. And you're full. I don't think it likes this, likes this refill roll. Okay. Just rolling in my edges, making sure that it's not sticking out. Here, I'm gonna stand up. There. See what I did? So I can see it. So I can clearly see this right edge. And then I'm going to center it. There we go. And there we go. Burnish lightly. A little bit of foil, but that's not much. Now I can do here. So we know this is 3 3/4 inches wide. And then the height. I did put a little space in between. So I'm gonna go 4 1/2 to start. 3 3/4 inches by 4 1/2. And then I'm gonna just keep bringing it down, trimming it down. 3 3/4 inches. And I already know this is longer than 4 1/2. by 4.5. So I'm going to now bring back my album, check it. See what I'm doing? I'm now checking right here. Does that look good? That's a little bit too small, so I'm going to take off just a hair. Almost 1/8 of an inch off. There we go. So just a hair off. Not as small as the other one where I did just a little scrap. There we go. See how that centers more now? How it looks more even? Again, tape runner. Rolling in my adhesive edges. Yeah, this roll is a little temperamental roll. Okay. Here now I'm going to center. There we go. And burnish. Then I had put a little flower here. You see? I had put a little flower there. Alrighty, crafters. Oh my goodness. Can we do a clap? Go get yourself a cup of coffee or a little glass of wine. Why not? In celebration, we matted all 4 pages. Yay! So we did page assembly 1, page assembly 2, pockets 3, pocket 4. Here you can either put this like so. So either way, this is working. Like so too, with the photograph in the back. And then, there we go. Page assembly 4. Yay! Alrighty, crafters. So the next video, I'll do the inside pocket, and then I'll also show you how to use this wonderful tag set, alright? And I have linked it below. How to make tags to fit in this album, and it does fit in a standard size die cutting machine. It's not too long that you have to go with extra long plates. At least I don't believe so. Alrighty, crafters, until the next video, stay crafty, my friends. Bye.